as he walked away shaking his head and wishing he'd never asked.
No!
What happened to our little click-clack thing? You remember that?
Oh, I still have it somewhere.
Oh. Someday we'll make motion pictures again. I haven't been able to since the accident.
I feel like we've just been coasting off our Mormon Stories episode for 3 weeks. And
Yeah, like we don't have to do
now
anything.
We have to prove that we're shit.
Next time we're on there, it's to announce our retirement.
Hello, welcome to a video where we are going to read your cringiest Mormon stories that you submitted to us on Instagram and Twitter. This video is sponsored by GT Dave's Kombucha and George Clooney Tequila.
Reach out to us if you're one of their agents.
I hear George Clooney's really trying to make it into the ex-Mormon market.
Yeah. It's not Leah Remini.
Clear. Only one order of business, or actually two. Support us on Patreon. It's a good time. Also, we have shirts now.
Hey!
They come in many colours. We're not wearing them today because it didn't really fit what we were going for, but...
Link in the description box. Alright. This is cringy things we did while Mormon. The
collective.
Uh-huh.
Okay, first one from Instagram. I told a grieving widow that she needed to be baptised and get her husband's temple work done. Unfortunate.
She's like, excuse me, what? Who are you?
I wore shirts under dresses that wouldn't match just because it was modest. Oh, Gwen. Yes.
Ooh. Asked my wife's stake president for sex advice at our pre-marriage interview.
Ooh, was she there? Aren't you usually together?
I have no idea. But
I wonder what the advice was.
My friend told me that his bishop was like, you can't just go right in. You've got to warm it up. With
groundbreaking. Just a finger.
Ooh, this is cringe.
No.
I gave my dad a blessing that he would be cured of his bipolar disorder.
Ooh, no.
Ooh, that doesn't go away with prayer.
Bore my testimony at girls' camp and at the end yelled, God rocks. That's perfect. That's you can't write that.
God rocks!
One girl said, flirting to convert 100%. Those boys put up with so much bullshit from me.
Ooh.
Flirting to convert. I fasted for almost 48 hours so I would stop masturbating. That's... 24-hour fasts are so hard. Condemning people to hell as a missionary was always a weird flex. Is that something missionaries do? Like, if things go badly? I can imagine them doing that if they're talking to a Christian.
That's the only case, and it would be like it would never... Mormons
It'd
are
be very
so passive-aggressive.
Yeah, like a regular Christian would be like, you're going to hell.
They just, like, have a smile and be like, well, we'll see at the last day, you know, who's on the Lord's side and who is not having a good time. And I look forward to hearing from ya. Wore a silly costume and watched a crappy movie in a white room. Cheers, Donor. As a 12-year-old, yell on a street corner with my family about how bad gay marriage was.
Oh, kids being involved in that.
Mm-hmm. Prop 8.
Someone said, oh my god, too many cringy stories to count. Trying to convert my now husband to cure his depression is probably the worst. I remember giving a talk in sacrament meeting where, like, a family friend was there who had depression, and I, like, talked about depression through the lens of the gospel, and every time I think about it, I want to kill myself. Thankfully, he helped me find my way out, and we are now happily married, and I'm out of the cult 2 years. Congrats! That's a happy ending. When Caitlyn Jenner came out, I posted on Facebook about how God doesn't make mistakes.
Ooh.
Someone else told my gay friend that I loved him, but didn't support him dating guys.
Ooh.
I think I've done that as well. Grim.
Felt guilty for missing church because I had pretended to be sick. I was 10 and just didn't want to, and proceeded to serve myself the sacrament because it was something I shouldn't miss.
Oh.
My dad found out and reamed me for it. Something about girls can't bless the sacrament.
Oh. There's many layers to that story.
Ooh, when a large group meeting in the MTC guilted us into writing a letter to a friend trying to get them to meet with the missionaries, my friend's letter back said, what did they do with Brad?
Oh, Brad! What did they do with Brad? They brainwashed Brad.
Let's turn that into a folk song. Look what they've done to my Brad.
To my Brad. I only listened to church music for 3 months after EFY to keep the spirit with me.
I did that for a couple
Relatable.
years.
Someone else said, a guy asked me if he could buy me a drink, and I showed him my CTR ring and said, I don't drink. That just reminded me of the existence of CTR rings and the fact that I had 2. Someone else, I told someone coming out to me that his same-sex attraction was probably just female demons attaching to him.
Oh, is that a real thing people
That's
teach?
creative. Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Female demons. Give me the dick. Give it to me. Give it to me. You want it. I want it.
It's the demon feminists.
I would love some demon feminists on me.
Changed my speech patterns so I came off softer. I'm naturally very outspoken, loud, and passionate. I was a convert, so I did that as soon as I caught on to the shame I felt for being a strong woman. Yes, I definitely, diminished my strength as a woman once I became Mormon, and I started de-emphasizing intelligence and thought, oh, my whole life, all I've cared about is intelligence, and now all I care about is spirituality. And it was just, I think I didn't read for 5 years while Mormon. I read, but nothing.
But not really.
Nothing of value, because it was always well, I should probably read my scriptures instead, and I always would just read church books. And...
Bingo. I was at the school summer camp, school secular, as a sophomore in high school, and we had to go around and say who we looked up to the most, and everyone was saying their parents or grandma or a teacher, and I said the president of the church. Ooh. And everyone is just that kid's in a cult. Not even Jesus. It's the president of my church.
The church. I typed an apology letter to the Dean of Ricks, that's BYU Idaho, for having females over past curfew. An apology letter!
I am so sorry to have hurt you like this, dear leader.
The president doesn't care, but that's how you think.
Uh-huh. I need to get this cleared by the highest authority in the land.
God. Buffaloing my peers into doing church stuff at my youth leader's behest. 2 great words in that one. Buffaloing and behest.
Buffaloing.
I've never heard of
that as a
buffaloing.
verb. I love it. I'm going to use it from now on.
Someone else said a friend was about to get baptized, but I contacted her bishop because she got drunk. Mood.
When I was on my mission, I tried to command someone's sickness to leave them. Oof.
Did you ever do that?
No, I never had the guts. I was if God told me to, but I'm never just gonna be
yeah.
Be gone! Get out of him!
You would be good though, you'd have the flair, I think. Slapped an iced tea out of my sister's hand at a parade.
Oh.
Imagine that scene.
Wow. And that would be seen as harmlessly righteous. Mm-hmm. And it's that is a huge overstepping of boundaries.
Cross, yeah. Okay, another one. I preached tithing as a principle to some of the poorest people on earth. If you guys haven't seen John DeLynne's new video on tithing that he put out recently, we're going to link in the description box because it's so good. So good. It blew my mind, and I've been, doing this for years. I told another Mormon co-worker that she and her husband would be separated and spend eternity alone.
Oh.
So bad. Oh, the cringe. That is the fastest way to get your co-workers to think she's in a cult. Oh, I cried bearing my testimony at youth camp in front of my non-believing friends.
The pressure to invite your non-Mormon friends to activities. I think about when I went to...
And they're always shit.
Yeah.
But you're all Mormons hype it up, and then it's just the lamest thing
You
ever.
hype it up, and you try to pitch it to them as less than what it is, so you're not we're trying to indoctrinate you and convert you. This is the first step in getting you baptized. I'm gonna win for this. Super embarrassed I did this. Went to the stake president and reported a couple in the ward was holding sex toy purchasing parties. Tupperware parties. I forget what they were called. Satan had taken over our ward. I had to do something.
I bet they were married, though.
Yeah, totally.
Is that explicitly wrong? I guess at the time it may have been.
Confess about my sex life to a YSA bishop I didn't know. Ooh.
Grim.
That is so grim, having to talk about your sex life to just some stranger adult who's has no grasp on psychology or human development or anything. He's just shooting at the hip from whatever absurd backward thing he heard growing up.
Yep.
On the first trip to the temple to do baptisms for the dead, I thought it was okay for my young women's teacher to inspect my underwear for any tags while I was wearing it.
For any tags?
And felt like a sinner when my underwear had a tag with black writing on it because it had to be all white, which isn't true.
If the tag was not all white?
Yeah, that's
so
nuts.
culty.
That's next level, yeah.
That's so culty.
We had Fruit of the Loom. It wasn't a big deal.
That's so insane.
Damn. Asked my parents to send me to EFY, and when I got there, they cut a chunk of my hair out because it was slightly purple, and I thought that was okay.
Someone said they shamed friends for drinking coffee and tea, but took caffeine pills on the rigs. So Mormons, like shaming someone for drinking a cup of antioxidant-rich coffee while having a giant Mountain Dew Baja Blast every day.
Oh, shit. My 1992 Saturn's license plate was CLD2SRV, called to serve. One day as I got out of the car, a guy walking by asked if I sold ice cream, and like, cold to serve. In answer, I loudly sang "called to serve" as he walked away, shaking his head and wishing he'd never asked. Not the worst.
I struggle to like imagine that being real. Like someone saying, "You need ice cream?" Cute joke, and then he starts singing a fucking hymn.
It's real. I would have done it. Maybe not at that age, but like in when we had little songs to remember the scripture masteries, and I used to walk down the halls of my high school singing scripture mastery songs, hoping that it would just inspire someone to ask me what I was singing about.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And the superiority complex is a hell of a drug, and it does make you do things. Under the influence of Mormonism is actually a good phrase.
It is, because it's like doing alcohol in a way that you wouldn't.
Yeah, because it lowers your inhibitions. You're like, I'm going to do this batshit crazy thing that's going to make everyone think I'm in a cult. But in your head, you're like, I'm so holy. And they, on some level, even though they're sinners, are picking up on that. Even though they're outwardly rejecting me, deep down they know. It's like, no, they don't. They just think I'm crazy. Please leave your cringiest Mormon stories below and, validate other people. Make this a safe space where we can all share in our own shame. Support us on Patreon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, good night.
We're out of here.
Read Untamed by Glennon Doyle.
Get out.
Basie.
Bernie, give me the spray bottle.
Such humor, such levity.